Hello, KeyForgers, She-Forgers, They-Forgers, every kind of forger. Welcome back to Lavinous Twitch on YouTube. Almost did the Twitch thing because I'm so used to streaming live, and I'm so bad at actually sticking to my schedule that I promised for this another edition of KeyForge All-Stars. I meant to be uploading these every week, so I'm sorry that I haven't been, but I'm really excited that you all enjoyed the first two parts. And the first deck that we did for the KeyForge All-Star bracket, Cameron Airport Musician. So if you're watching for the first time, this is more of a competitive deep dive into some of my favorite decks. I stream KeyForge on weekdays, noon to 1 p.m. Central on Twitch, and that's more of a casual approach at some older decks and just some fun decks. And this is definitely more of my, once OP starts up, I'm looking at the decks that I want to be taking. So I've created my own little ranking system. It's not a good ranking system, but it is fun and it's colorful and it looks cool on a spreadsheet. So that's really what this is. So if you haven't watched the Cameron Airport Musician one, here's a spoiler. Cameron Airport Musician basically ranked as a 5-star red level deck. The way my ranking system works is I play consecutive games with the same deck in the color round first. It's a best 3 of 5 round on the competitive end of the Crucible. And depending on how many wins and losses I get, determines the color of a deck. If the deck goes 3-0, it is a yellow deck. If the deck goes 3-1, it's a blue deck. If it goes 3-2, it's a red deck. If it has less wins than losses, it does not color and it does not move on to the next round, which is the star round. So that is another consecutive crazy best 5 out of 9 rounds, and for each win that deck gets a star. So if you look here, Cameron went all 9 rounds, managed to get the 5 wins needed to become a 5-star red deck. So if you want to go back and check out any of those games, the videos are separated into 2 parts for each deck, the color round and the star round. So this episode that you're watching is the star round for Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium. And let's get a better look at this. This is by far my most competitive deck. It's my highest SAS. Is it? It's my second highest SAS, but it's definitely the one that I think is my best deck. I love this one so much. It is a Mass Mutation deck. Dis, Logo, Shadows. 85 SAS. That's 74 base arc, 11 synergy, and then -1 anti-synergy, +1 meta. So we've got 16 creatures, 1 upgrade, 14 actions, 5 artifacts. That's a decent spread. I normally am afraid of having that many artifacts, but the ones in this deck are very useful and pretty good. I like them a lot. Expected Ember, 25. We love to see that. The speed is 11. You also love to see the efficiency. Give me just 1 second. But yeah, so looking at this deck list, and I've even had people tell me this, they go, that doesn't look like an 85 SAS deck list. And I would agree. It's not too flashy, but the more you look at it, the more you kind of see what it's going to be doing. And I think playing it is a whole nother story. This is a deck where all the games are exciting, and I hope that it backs it up. I love how I talk up these decks, and I might just get absolutely spanked. But truly, this deck is so exciting. From my experience, I've put almost 100 games into it on the Crucible. The games are always so fun because this deck performs better the more it's losing. Most games with this deck go 3 keys to 2. Either way, either a win or a loss. Also, I'm only typically calling Dis and Logos for the first 2 keys, or for most of the game. There's a lot of fun archiving in this deck that helps me put the shadows away for later, and then shadows are where my biggest swings, my biggest board controls come in. And it always makes for what feel like bigger comebacks, or just like absolutely oppressive end games, and it's just a blast to play. And so honestly, like, that's all I'm gonna do that's all I'm going to say about it. You'll see for yourself how this deck really works together with all three houses and how it can get out of a lot of sticky situations. The only thing it doesn't have is power. Like the strongest creature I have in this deck is Gabos Longarms at power 5. So spot removal, pretty good against my creatures, but also I don't care about a board. I don't care about having creatures. I rarely call the same house 2 turns in a row unless given the opportunity. Yeah, it's a blast. I love this deck so much, and we're going to go for it. And also, just in case you don't watch the Twitch streams and you're wondering what's going on with my hair, I have green hair right now, and I'm sitting in front of a green screen. And so the elephant in the room is that I don't have a cranium, so I'm going to be wearing this hat. So sorry for that if that is distracting to you. We're going to jump in now. We're going to do the color round, so it's best 3 out of 5 consecutive games here in the competitive lobby on the Crucible, where all bets are off. This is just random. I don't know these people playing. I'm sure I've played them before, but yeah, we're just gonna set it up, roll it, see how it goes. You'll probably get a guess of how well or how badly this goes by the length of the video. Hopefully, we're looking for a short episode this week. And I promise you, I will try to do more consistent uploads. I'd like to do the KeyForge All-Stars every week. Once a week. So here we go. We've got Unter Hardball Trinicitis. Sure. And once again, the coffee break that I do is a more casual approach to the game. So in this game, I'm going to be taking a little bit more time. I'm going to be looking at my opponent's Archon card at the beginning of the game. Hold for train. I'm going to spend that time to look at the Archon card as if this were organized play and really play around that instead of just throw things out and see what happens. So we are looking at a 3 Control the Weak deck, 2 gateways, 2 hands. Again, I don't care about a board. The Control the Weak is tough. Telling me what to do or restricting my actions is absolutely tough in this game. So they've got a Mother, they've got the Time Traveler, Interdimensional Graft is pretty hurtful. Library Access with the Phase Shift is good. Remote Access is also pretty good here. And they have the Key Charge, Flaxia. No Nature's Call, though, so that's good. Or Regrowth. All right. I think I'm ready. So to start things off here, I'm going second. Yeah, we're going to mulligan this hand. And not a great hand to start with, to be completely honest. I would love to see Bo Nithing later in the game, but if I can get him on the field and kill him later, I have a couple of Stirring Graves to put him in the archive. And, oh, they're going to Control the Weak right out the gate and tell me to play Logos, which is a really good call, because I don't have any. Said nice call, LOL, in the chat. That was a very good opening move. Basically giving them a free turn 2 to deal with. Jay Breeze says got lucky. Do I know Jay Breeze? Is this would this be Jay Breeze from Wild Wormhole? I don't know. All right, good. Not a super great library access turn. That helps us out a little bit. Rad Penny actually going to get the value here. Bo Nithing not going to get value. Opportunist is strictly for the Ember here. We're going to play Borrow and actually deal that damage to Rad Penny, put her back in the deck for later. All right, there we go. So, like I said, I don't want to call Shadows early in this house if I don't have to. But now we have a really fun sacrifice to get Bo Nithing into the discard pile and deal with any problem creatures that arise. Interdimensional Graft coming out early is huge. But Ganymede... Oh, wait, not from the discard pile. Perfect. Yeah, we want to see these key cards coming out, like Control the Weak and Interdimensional Graft. We want to see those disappear quickly. So we are going to go into Dis this turn. Throw down Imp Spectre, which lets us draw. Cool. Essence Scale, we have 2 of these in this deck. And we've got 2 Imp Spectres and a Dark Minion, so we have some targets for that utility trigger the destroyed effects and stuff like that. So we're going to use Implosion to actually kill Bone Knithing this turn and get rid of Ganymede. Keeping that Titan mechanic open with 2 flanks puts us in check. Which means they're going to have to either build their board or let me have this key or find a different way to stop me. And look at that. Next turn, we've got a really fun Logos hand lined up. Especially if we can manage to forge a key, that Neurosiphon's going to come in clutch. Getting Daughter down to help cycle the deck even more is good because we're already moving through it pretty quickly. Shaffle's coming out is going to keep me off the key. That's a good call. That's a good play right there. Fear is also going to bounce Imp Spectre, which I'll take because it has the draw icon. Pretty happy about that. I'm wondering if they... Yeah, I don't know. Well, they kept me off the key, clogging up my hand a tiny bit. We'll be okay, though. So, Neurosiphon's only going to be used for an Ember here. Ooh. Ooh. I think we might leave Shaffles. Well, actually, it ends up being the same amount of Ember, doesn't it? Yeah, we're going to play Entropic Swirl on Shaffles. We're going to play out our Logos hand. Oh my gosh. Look at the gateway into 2 Imp Specters to hopefully snipe some targets, and we also have Infernus to just take care of Interdimensional Graft and one of the Control the Weaks right from the beginning. And again, we don't typically call the same house twice. So really what I'm looking for on this turn is for them to build their board. I didn't see a lot of creatures on that deck list, so I don't think that's the plan. If anything, it'd be nice for them if they have a couple untamed creatures with that Flaxia. But actually, we're going to see them go Logos. What was in their Logos that could hurt me? I think they're just setting up. So Library Babble's coming down. I don't know if they have enough creatures to flank that Titan mechanic. We might get the first key cheap. Mechanic will reap, and that's it. We do get the first key cheap. First key of the game. They're still not in check. We are actually in really good shape here. So we're going to reap with Dark Mignon. We're going to throw down Imp Spectre with the draw icon. Throw down our second Imp Spectre. Throw down our second Essence Scale. And then we're going to hit Infernus. We're absolutely dogpiling our opponent right now. We got off to a really good start. We're going to pop Dark Minion to ready and reap with Infernus, which is fine because we are going to pop the Gateway anyway. Just to get rid of Titan Mechanic and purge 2 cards out of their hand. We purged Key Charge and Time Traveler. Oh my gosh, we might pull a concede. RNGesus. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Killing Time Traveler, Key Charge, Control the Weak, and Interdimensional Graft all in one turn with Purge. Woo! That's incredible. That's some of the best RNG I've ever had. Wow. I'm so glad I got that on tape. Word of returning in an Ancient Bear is it. Throwing it back to us. We're going to go Logos, pull this archive. We're going to use Autovac to put some Shadows cards away because, again, we don't want to see them yet. I have a feeling we're going to pull into Cronus with Lethalogica. Ah, not quite. Forge Compiler. Maybe we'll hit it with QMEX. Nope. Should have used Fission Bloom for the extra Ember there, but I was hoping... I was greedy. I wanted to get the... my Cronus has an archive... or a capture icon and a draw icon. So with Fission Bloom, you double those up. So you can capture twice, draw twice, and then Cronus's ability lets you archive twice. It's insane. So with Fission Bloom, Cronus is Fission Bloom's best friend. Fogbank stops me from fighting. A second Ancient Bear is coming out. Snufflegator. So they're building this board. Do they have Flaxia this turn? Because that's going to get them a key. I'm not going to be able to stop it. No, just a reap. Oh my gosh. We're still keeping him off that key. So we're going to go disc, not pull the archive. Throw down Gabos, hit Stirring Grave. And we're going to archive that Bow Knithing from earlier. We're going to use Essence Scale here to kill Research Smoko to use QMX. Smoko archived a Lights Out for us. That's perfect. The more shadows we can get in that archive, the better. Let's archive Infernus for future use. And we'll call it there. We are in check for the second key. Library Babble's going to let him draw. Help from Future Self just gets him the Ember. I still cannot believe I purged Time Traveler and Key Charge. Wow. Remote Access going to hit that Fission Bloom. Control the Weak's going to get him a couple of Ember for that, and they get to choose who I go into, and they choose Logos. All right, so we're going to hit that second key. So again, this is where the deck is going to slow down for a little bit until I can use those Bow Knithings for reaping and stuff, or for stealing. We're going to archive Bow Knithing number 2 away. QMX is going to reap. And we're in really good shape. There's our Cronus. There's our boy. That's the one right there. MVP of this deck. Holy cow. So they did forge their first key, warding my board. Again, we kind of like letting them, or seeing that KeyForge, especially in this position, obviously. But like, now I've just got a couple creatures. If I'm repeating houses, we do have a Mark of Dis, which I said a very controversial thing today on the coffee break. I said I might like Mark of Dis more than Control the Weak, just because it also throws out a little bit of damage. Fogify means I can't fight. Okay, yeah. I think, yeah, we just go Logos. We're not going to pull the archive. We're going to use Fission Bloom here on Cronus. So again, we get to trigger Cronus's archive after the draw. So we're going to archive Subtle Auto. We're going to capture onto Gabos. We're going to do it again. We're going to archive Rad Penny. We're going to capture onto Quixo. Then we're going to use Autovac to archive Lights Out. So look at our archive. 8 cards, 7 of them are shadows. That's what I mean about not calling shadows until the end. We don't need to. We're in check for the third key. We've called shadows once this game. And if they ever get in a spot where I need to steal at this point 3 in one turn, I can do it. Both Bow Knithings and Rad Penny will get me into 3. In the end game, when my opponent has 2 keys, this is a 5 Ember swing. And sometimes you have Opportunist in there. And that's a 6 Ember swing. I think we're going to get it. That is the game. GG, Jay Breeze. Thank you for the game. I got really lucky with some of that RNG. But, all right, that's game number 1 in the books, in the color round. Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium walking away with a dominant 3-1 win. Whew. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. All right. 1 game down. Heading back into the Crucible. Gonna grab Smitheson. And we'll see if our opponent throws a deck in there. But here's the deck list for you while we wait between games. You're watching KeyForge All-Stars on Twitch, on Laughing as Twitch on YouTube. Yeah, thanks for checking out the channel. I appreciate you being here, watching this video. Hope you enjoy this more competitive deep dive into some of my decks. I love this one so much. I'm really excited to see how it does on my ranking system. I've put a lot of games in with this one. I think Cameron, I still have more games in, but Smitheson is easily second place there with just how many games I've done. So I'm very familiar with this deck, and I love it so much. Let's see what we're up against. Abraham Piovra La Argentio. Mass Mutation deck. So we're doing MM versus MM here. Over in Saurian, what are the things we need to look out for? Amphora Captura. No Curiosaurus though. Good, because I still don't know how to work around that card. 2 Enhanced Cornisons is gonna be tough. That's a lot of capturing, but again, I have a lot of bounce. What are the artifacts in this deck that I could borrow? Nothing good. They have Mole. Mole is interesting. That's a cool card. Do they have any artifacts? Amphora Captura. I guess I could always steal that. Cronus turns into a stealing machine. But I think that's it. 3 Crewman Yorks for some stealing. Hapless Cadet for some making me lose some. Otherwise, Ludo's kind of the problem, but that's even a destroy trigger, so I'm really not that worried. Yeah, okay. We're going to mulligan, though. I'm not too worried. As in, I'm not too worried about key cards that would ruin my strategy. I still don't know, obviously, how their deck plays. I'm always worried because I'm in the competitive lobby. And it does seem like a really fun list. I just mean... this deck's strategy looks like it's more capture and keep with that Ludo. But I have bouncing cards and spot removal for days. And I mulliganed into a decent turn 1. Getting both Essence Scales out early and the potential to destroy a turn 1 creature that they might play feels pretty good. Either way, I'm getting 3 Ember, and that also feels good. Half a key on turn 1 is obviously pretty dope. All right. Gonna take a work call real quick while they figure out what they're doing. All right. So let's see. We're looking at... I was able to get rid of one of those Cornus and Octavius with Subtle Auto. I don't love seeing all my shadows coming up. We might have to pivot and use shadows a couple times here. Because if we can get the Bonithings on the field and then flip into Dis, we can kill them both using Essence Scale, using them both, and then archive one with the Stirring Grave. And I think that's where I'm leaning. So they've got a couple surveys to look through their deck and decide to get rid of cards if they want. One has a capture icon. And there it is, the Hapless Cadet. All right, so yeah, we are going back into shadows here. I'm going to get rid of that Hapless Cadet for now. We're going to bring in both the Bow Knithings, and I know I'm giving them Ember for that, but it's kind of worth it right now. We're also going to get rid of that Gamgee. Yeah, weird start. I don't love having to be in my Shadows house because it's not strong. And if they get too early of a lead while I'm using Shadows, I might be in trouble. Wow, that Ludo has 2 draw icons. Can we talk about that? That's beautiful. And Thero has a capture icon and an Ember icon on him. That's beautiful. I'll be able to get there later. Oh, Spoils of Battle gonna just capture all of my Ember. Yeah, I need to draw into my Lights Out. It's both of them. Look at that. Look at all this Ember. Alright, yeah, we're actually gonna go into this. Throw out Gabos. Gonna use Essence Scale to kill Bow Knithing. To reap with Bow Knithing. Do it again to reap with Subtleado. Hit the Stirring Grave to put Bow Knithing away. And that's it. That's all I can do. Good Logos play coming up. Good Logos play going up. Alright, so Thero fought into Frankus. We're going to see Cornison come down with another damage icon. Probably going to kill Subtleado. Nope, using it as a capture. I like that play. I like that play. And there goes Frankus. And they're putting damage on Ludo. Going to try to get rid of him. While they can, to get rid of the Ember that's on him. All right, so yeah, we gotta get some stuff going here. We're gonna go Logos, hit Neurosiphon for a steal and a draw. Sure. Fission Bloom, Forge Compiler gonna help out real bad. Autovac, meaning all of our artifacts are down. Let's hit Cronus with a capture and an archive. Put Rad Penny away for later. Put that on Gabos, and then Quixo. End the turn. They're going to Forge, which is fine. My deck likes the pressure. It likes wanting to come back. Again, makes for some exciting games. So this is the first time so far on this episode that we are on the back foot. And I'm really excited to watch how Smitheson operates now. Especially against all of this capturing. And we still haven't seen our Lights Outs, which we need both right now to get all of that Ember back. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is the kind of game that I like. Let's see what their Shadows has to say about all of this. They have a Lights Out, which is going to pop a couple awards. Good thing we have that Forge compiler. Gabos and Cronus. I don't mind playing Cronus again. Especially with Fission Bloom there. If you have another Lights Out, I'll gladly take Cronus back into my hand. Ooh, Vandalize going to get some good information. So Vandalize got rid of one of my Lights Outs. Bummer. Look at all of this capture and Ember control. That's crazy. I'm impressed. All right, so we're going to go Logos here. We are not going to pull the Archive. Quite the opposite. We're going to start throwing some more cards in there. Hit the Neurosiphon for the Steel Draw. So we're not trying to kill Ludo. We are trying to get as much Ember as possible, though. And I think by killing Consul Primus with Entropic Swirl, that's what we want to do. Let's use Fission Bloom on Lethalogica, because that's my best play with Cronus out on the field. I'm going to throw down Daughter. We are simply going to Reap with Quixo and Reap with Cronus, putting us in check for now. Not forever, though. Definitely not forever. And we got our second Stirring Grave and Gateway, but I still got to get rid of those Ludos if I'm going to do anything about Gateway. At the very least, if I had enough power, I could take out the Ludos with my Essence Scales, then hit the Gateway, and I would still get a lot of that Ember back. Here they go. They're getting up there. They're moving into keyforging range. I don't want to be down 2-0. I want to be down 2-1, if anything. There goes Cronus. That's a bummer. Good thing my creatures don't have a lot of power, because they could bomb their creatures on my creatures, and that's kind of their whole deal, isn't it? Alright, the Ludos are reaping. Oh, this is rough. It's very, very rough. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go Logos here. We're not gonna pull the Archive. We're gonna throw down QMX. We're gonna throw down Smoko. We're gonna make them forge for the whole thing. We're gonna kill one of the Ludos. There we go. This is tough. This is tough. But I have a plan. I have a plan that's so crazy it just might work. Depends on what they do on this turn, though. I've got to kill Ludo. And I think I'll be able to. I really, really do. Then I gotta really go into overtime with those Shadows cards that I've archived. Keep them off that third key while I race for the win. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. And I really would love to draw onto my other lights out. That would be nice. If I do manage to come back here, it'll be one of the greatest comebacks I've ever pulled off. Oh, Hapless Cadet. I kind of love that they're building up a board. Please don't find a way to kill Hapless Cadet or steal me. I need this key this turn. I need it really, really bad. I need it really, really bad. Ah, they kept me off the key. They did it. Particle Sweep, kill Daughter. Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be a big turn. It's going to be a big turn. We're going dis. I just got to do this right. So, let's start by playing the Imp Specters. Let's Stirring Grave to put... I flipped through my deck. Damn it. I did that wrong. All right. That's okay. Infernus. I'm going to purge from my opponent. We're going to get rid of that Ludo because it's really good. And then we're also going to get rid of the Mug. That'll bring him down to 0. So Essence Scale. We're going to kill Smoko to use Quixo, who will fight Ludo. And then we're going to use Essence Scale again. Kill Qmex, use Quixo, kill Ludo. So those 2 Ember are burned, right? But now, all of that sitting on there is going to come right back to me when I hit this gateway. And I purge 2 cards out of their hand. Yorg and Mole. And we're going to throw down a Gabos. We have 18 Ember. We drew our second Bone Iving, so that's good. We need to now hold on to all this Ember for 3 turns and forge back to back to back. And we drew our lights out in case they go back into Capture Madness. Key number 1. We're going to go Shadows. We're not even going to pull the Archive yet because we're going to do this. First, we're going to borrow that Amphora Captura. We're going to lights out for Ember. Put those back into the hand. Reap with Subtle Auto. Throw down Frankus. Throw down Shoulder Id. End the turn. Check. Got rid of my Stirring Grave. Pretty good. Dark Wave. Gonna throw some damage around. Sure. Key number 2. Logos. Pull the Archive. Fission Bloom on Cronus. So we're gonna draw. We're gonna Archive. GG. Draw, Archive, Capture onto Gabos, throw him down, Neurosiphon, Autovac, Neurosiphon, Reap. Smithson comes alive when backed into a corner Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium just turned a 2-0 key deficit to a 3-peat key forging winning game back to back to back. That's what I'm talking about right there. That was one of the most fun and stressful comebacks I've ever had to pull off, but holy cow, Smitheson can do that. Smitheson can do that. Can't tell if they're thinking, if they left, or what's going on. Are they there? Hello? Didn't say they disconnected. Are they keeping me from getting the win on the record, or what's up? What's going on? I don't get it. Well, I don't know what they're doing. I might just have to leave the game and give them the win on the Crucible tracker. But yeah, it's a little weird. We're going to call it, though. Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium. 3-2. Second win here in the color round on KeyForge All-Stars. Yeah, they are. I don't think they're going to give me the win. So I'm going to leave the game. Sure. Okay. Doesn't matter. All right. So now we move on to game 3. And if Smitheson can get it, it's a yellow deck. And I really think it belongs on this bracket as a yellow deck. It is probably my best deck that I own, and I love playing it. What a game. That was a really fun game. So thank you to my opponent. I don't know what they were doing there at the end, but thank you to my opponent for that game. I had to pull out all the stops for that one. Good luck. Have fun. Let's see what we're up against. Worlds Collide deck list with 3 Exhumes, 2 Buzzles, an Infernus, Harbinger, Snaglet, sure. Golden Spiral, Tribute, and 6 Semper. That's going to be rough, especially... Well, a lot of their guys are little, but also stronger than mine, so... That Tribute 6 Semper is going to be a real problem. Oh, I picked the wrong deck. Oh. I definitely grabbed the wrong deck there. I'm like, Smithson doesn't have an Ember Imp. Or Sanctum. Oh, there we go. Oh, very nice. There we go. And yes, they're still using their deck. Okay, so there's a piece of cord here, which is fine. Captain Val Jericho is going to be tough. Do we see stealth mode? One stealth mode. Stealth mode is going to hurt me that turn that it comes out. For sure. I'm going first. I do not want to keep this hand. We're going to mulligan those Shadows creatures to the bottom, hopefully. Oh, boy. Turn 1, Fission Bloom. Turn 2, Cronus. Let's go. Let's go. Uh-oh. Turn 1, Val is going to be an issue. I'm going to really hope that I can draw into my Gateway to Dis here soon, because Val is going to be an issue. 3 Exhumes in a deck with Val Jericho, too. Scary stuff. I don't like it. So let's go Logos, hit that Fission Bloom, and we're going to start cycling. Put you away. Put you away. Hit QMX. Hit Lethalogica to guarantee a draw. And all we got rid of was Implosion. I would have loved to have kept that, but that's okay. Still moving through the deck pretty quickly. The dreaded 2/2/2 hand, we might be going back into Logos if I have a reason to, which I probably will, considering I have 4 creatures on the board. There's Tricerian Legionary. Warding Jericho. Very cool. That's going to be tough. They're going to be moving through their deck as quickly as I am if they can keep Val in the middle like that. So let's go back into Logos. We're not going to get the value off Neurosiphon anyway, so we will Fission Bloom it to get 2 Ember. Autovac. Quixo's... Oh, is Jarda elusive? Jarda is elusive. We'll just kill Ali then. Reap. 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 So we're in check unless they want to exalt that Redder Gallum. So this is one of those Shadows hands that I don't mind calling. It's not my stealing plays, and it is some more board control plays. It also helps me cycle a lot, considering I have Daughter on the board. So I might be going into Shadows, bouncing a couple of the problem cards, and hoping to discard them with Subtle Auto, and then just getting another body on the board. If they were closer to check, I'd just stay in Logos, put down the Forge Compiler, and just reap out. Yeah, like Chan needs to go for the next turn, and Val popped her ward, so she's gonna get out of here too. We don't want her, and we were given the key, so that's good. We love to see that. Eterome is gonna start picking off Logos creatures too. So yeah, let's go Shadows. We're not gonna pull the Archive. Who do we have in here? Shoulder It and Rad Penny. Okay. Yeah, let's lights out Chan and Val, and Subtle Auto. Can we hit Val? We hit Harbinger. That's okay. That ain't bad. We'll borrow nothing. We'll hit Redder. And we'll throw down Francis the Economist. Let's cycle, baby. So I'm a bit worried that I haven't called this and I haven't had a need to yet, because that means we're going to get stuck adjusting our board here in a little bit. But there are worse things. Also, these guys are giving me free Ember. Oh, but they're warded. Okay, that makes sense. Chant of Hubris, actually, moving that over to Quixo. Okay, so that's not as much of a immediate threat as I thought. Let's just do this, actually. This is kind of a fun play. Let's just keep them off the key for a turn. I mean, why not? Why not keep them off the key? All right. So Dis is now a pretty viable option. We're getting Ember from Essence Scale. We have the ability to lock them into a house of our choice. And we get to throw out an Imp Spectre with the draw icon. And then we're going to give them that key and ward our board. Yeah, let's hit it. This is as good a time as any. Essence Scale. Essence Scale. Let's put them into Dis with Mark of Dis, so that they can't Red or Gallum me. And I do have 2 Bow Nithings, which would be able to steal 1 each. Not bad at this point. Buzzle coming out. Is he going to pop the ward on Jarda to get a free attack? Doesn't look like it. All right, key 2. We are really ahead of the game right now. And I'm loving it. Oh, what do we do here, though? There's so many options. There's so many choices. We go Shadows, and we just do the swing now. We're far enough ahead. We're just gonna overwhelm. Brad Penny 2 Bow Nithings brings them down to 2. Me up to 7. Francis gonna pop the war. Ooh, forgot about that. We'll just fight Buzzle. I can't pop the ward because of Legionary, but what I can do is get rid. I can just get rid of the wards. I don't think it's gonna matter at this point. I really, really don't. Because we just bursted up to 11. That's it. That's the game. And they left. All right. GG 3-1 that time, which means, oh my gosh, it feels so good to say it. That's all that we're going to do for the color round. Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium is officially 3-0 today in the color round, making it a yellow deck. And I think we can all agree here that Smitheson should be a yellow deck. So we are going to fill in all of this stuff down here because we have officially figured out a place for him. And forging 9 keys to 4 feels pretty good on the day too. Ooh, I've been excited to play Smitheson on this series. Hope you all enjoyed the KeyForge All-Stars episode number 1 for Smitheson. Next week, I promise you, it'll be here next week. We're going to continue with Smitheson. We're going to get the stars on Smitheson. We're going to enter the star round now that Smitheson has officially become our first yellow deck. So the way the star round works is, you know, it could be yellow, but it could only be 1 star. You know, we could lose the next 4 games and win 1 and then lose a 5th one. But at this rate, we're off to a really great start with Smitheson. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it does when we have to play more than 3 games in a row. But that is Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium. This is my deck. I opened this. Out of a Mass Mutation box, and I have been in love ever since. Love at first sight with Smitheson. And that brings us to about an hour, which is pretty cool. Solid chunk of KeyForge content. Thank you again if you're watching this video. Thank you for checking out the channel and for watching me play KeyForge. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you learned something if that's what you're looking for. Hopefully you're excited about this deck like I am. And you can just let me know if you ever want to play it, because I'm always looking for the practice with it. When OP opens back up, it's going to be me and Smitheson, baby. We're coming for that vault tour. But yeah, next episode of KeyForge All-Stars will be the star round. It'll be a more rigorous dive, or it might just be a couple of 5 games in a row. We'll see, but I think this is my best deck. And then after this one is up, I think our next all-star that we're going to try is the Ranger that shelters the abnormal, which is my 7 Sins deck. It has 4 of the Sins, and I'm really excited to play that deck some more. I really, really like it. I don't think it's as good as Smithson, but I do think it's better than Cameron. And that's wild. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out the YouTube channel. If you ever want to watch me play live, I play on Twitch, noon to 1 p.m. Central every weekday. In March, I'm going to be playing KeyForge on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on Tuesday I might be playing some other card games. But once Dark Tiding comes out, it'll all be KeyForge again. So if you're looking for more KeyForge content, check that out. You can also check out all the VODs of the KeyForge Coffee Break right here on the channel. So thank you for being here. We will catch you next time with the next episode of KeyForge All-Stars featuring Smitheson of Cudsshaw Stadium. So keep your eyes out for it. Have a great day, great night, wherever, whenever you are. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep forging, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.